Have you wondered recently whether you're on track for retirement or other financial goals? Like, are your kids set up for financial success? Ty Nafziger from Benjamin F. Edwards and Company is hosting a 30-minute seminar to help you answer these questions and more. Ty's goal is to help families feel confident in their financial plan. So join Ty at the seminar on September 11th at 2 p.m. at the Monona Library in the Municipal Room downstairs. And kids are welcome. Benjamin F. Edwards and Company is a member SIPC. Y'all, Comic-Con is back in Madison. Meet your favorite celebs and see all the cool artists and vendors at Madison Comic Expo on September 14th and 15th at the Alliant Energy Center. Meet the voice of SpongeBob, Tom Kenny, as well as Rachel Lee Cook, Will Friedle, Grace Van Dien, some Power Rangers, and over a dozen voice actors from your favorite cartoons and anime. Don't miss the costume contest on Saturday and Sunday. Buy your tickets now at MadisonComicExpo.com. Today on CityCast Madison. Hope you had a lovely Labor Day weekend. And can I ask, do you smell that? It's Badger time, baby. Fall semester is here for UW-Madison and the energy is stirring. Plus, September has some major events in store. The Ironman Wisconsin races and the infamous Willie Street Fair. The CityCast Madison team is bringing you our guide to making the most of September in Madison. It's Tuesday, September 3rd. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Jump around! It's begun. Students are back in full force. The Badgers are bustling around this campus, and I seen them in coordinated shirts. There's so much joy for a new year. Cue Harry Potter's Hedwig theme. JK, we don't have the money for that. Nonetheless, for fall, it's September, and fall will hit this beautiful college town. There's going to be dancing in September. We're going to be waking you up when September ends. Iron Men are training. Willie Streeters are warming up. They're weird. It's a beautiful time. How are you doing, Haley Sperling, our executive producer? What's good?
I'm so good. So ready for fall. So ready to get weird on Willie Street. We got it all in September.
Yeah, so we've got it all. And Ava Wienowski, our interim newsletter editor, how are you doing?
Doing good. I love fall in Madison, so I'm super excited about that.
Oh my God. It's just, I'm feeling all the tinglies and like and all the excitement and fear seeing all the students back on campus. Just like, oh my God, you guys are so cute. I'm feeling like from Mean Girls, the mom who says, I'm a cool mom. Like I'm still a part of.
You're doing amazing, sweetheart. Yeah, it's just like that.
Yep. And like, be safe though. Ava, you're kicking us off. It's a big time for Badgers.
Yeah, so it's true. Students are back on campus. It feels weird to say that and have my first year not back on campus as I just graduated this past spring. So kind of mixed feelings over here, not going back, but also exciting for what's to come. But the first day of school for students who are going back is September 4th. So although students are coming in, they're still definitely not all moved in yet. So around September 4th is when you'll want to watch out on campus. It'll be a lot busier, a lot more going on. So people will be swarming. The students are back. And I know we talked about this a little bit, but with move-in, I'm sure it's been really hot in those dorms for a lot of the freshmen. I know personally for me, I was in Slichter, no AC. So it was a brutal time when I moved in my freshman year. But I was going to ask, and I know we've talked about this a little bit before, but what dorms were you guys in? And kind of like, what was your experience like in the dorms?
Oh my God, I was in Nerdborn, aka Chadborn, which is right across from the business school off of University and Park, and I loved it. I loved it so much. They had like learning communities. And
a great spot for sure.
Yeah, I went to the Dominican Republic like as a group.
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah, we went all out in Chadborn. Nerd life forever.
My dorm did not go to the Dominican Republic. I lived in...
It was like a service trip.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I lived in Pretty Witty. We call it Pretty. She's really not. But when I moved in, my roommate, she was working at Gordon's, like the dining hall. So she got to move in like a week earlier than I did. And when she got there, she was like, did you order an air conditioner unit? Like, do you have like a medical reason for that or whatever? And I was like, no, why? She's like, well, we have one. And I was like, nice. Don't tell anyone. So we just like low key ended up with an AC unit, like by the grace of God. I do not know what happened. We were so blessed. I mean, guaranteed it was so hot when we moved in, and I just remember like sweating tears the entire day moving in, and my mom was helping and my roommate was helping, and we were just all miserable because those storms, I've heard they've been updated now, but honestly we need to knock those buildings down. That's a whole other conversation. But Witty, we love that Southeast life. It was a vibe. It was a time and a place.
Yeah. I walked by like Lakeshore kind of recently, and it looked like there were AC units like in all of the windows in a lot of the Lakeshore ones that I swore didn't have AC when I was a freshman. So I think maybe luckily they're kind of like the kids need AC and they need to not be sweating. Exactly. So
climate change. Yeah.
So hopefully everyone is a little bit cooler, but I know the move-in process is always during like the last surge of summer where it's like so sweaty. It's the humid Wisconsin weather. So hopefully everyone's staying cool out there and getting ready to come back to campus. But another exciting thing that happens when students come back to campus is football games come back to campus. So the first football game was this past Friday, the 30th, against the Western Michigan Broncos, and it was a night game at 8 p.m. With Madison football games comes a ton of traditions like jump around, build me up buttercup, varsity, and my personal favorite, the student section race. And for those of you who may not know what that is, it's where the letters for like the different sections of the student section are in cartoons on the big jumbotron, and they race against each other, and students get super excited about when their section wins. I know personally I get super competitive, even though I have no say in how this goes.
It's so fun.
Like
I
bubble
love that.
letters racing each other.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And some sections are such tryhards. Like I was a season ticket holder like for a couple of years in college, not all 4 years, but I went to a lot of football games, and some sections are big tryhards, like especially big tryhard. And it's fun to be in that one. But sometimes it's really fun when you're in like section P and you got there, you get there like after halftime and you're like, P, yeah, let's go. And it's just like you're there with like the rest of the people who are also like just there for the vibes and also there for the race. It is one of my favorite things. I'm so glad you brought that up, Ava.
My group was always in section P for whatever. Like we were always just like, that's the timing we had it. We were always like, yeah, P. And then one time P won and we were like, let's go. For no reason.
I like don't remember this, but I only went to one day game. I wish I had gone to more, but I feel like I got.
Well, we'll take you. We got time.
That's true. Oh my gosh, if anyone's listening, we'd love to come do some CityCast Madison over there.
But something new that's going to come alongside these traditions is that Camp Randall is now beginning alcohol sales along with the UW Fieldhouse as well. So a lot of universities have this already. So UW is kind of joining that group of universities that have this. When ordering, fans will be limited to 2 drinks per person. And these drinks include beer, wines, and prepackaged drinks like hard seltzer. And another big thing kind of now going back to like looking at the football games that are coming up this season, and for football fans in general, I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about football, guys. I'm not going to lie. But I did hear and was talking with my brother a lot about this, about how a really big game for UW this year is against Alabama. That's because they're the 5th ranked team. People are saying that this will be the program's biggest non-conference game since 2016. That game will be on September 14th, and according to an article from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, tickets for the Wisconsin-Alabama game are going for about $200.
Okay, Chapel Roan.
Yeah, I was like, this is the UW Taylor Swift like competition now to get tickets for this. I was kind of blown away. Again, I'm not a big football fan, so I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum, but I was shocked at the price tag on that. Because for some perspective, the average ticket price for this season is going around like $90. Obviously, that varies depending on the game, depending on what time of day it is, depending on who we're playing. But $200?
That's insane.
I don't have that budget.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, I remember literally just like one day going to a football game and not having a ticket and trying to be like, oh, I'll find someone to buy one. And then my friend went into a porta potty and literally walked out with another ticket. Like, she's like, someone left this here and now it's yours. And I was like, yeah, let's go. But like, that's the thing, is that like $200 for a ticket just feels insane to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Camp Randall.
Yeah. And especially because I like feel like overall Alabama's seems to be obviously better ranked. So I feel like we're just kind of going to get
Pummeled.
pummeled.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, we're not.
But I don't know. But I don't know. Go Badgers or whatever. So for tailgating, I know personally I would always go on Ed Khalif Park, but something that's super important about is we should discuss parking, which there's a ton of parking along the Regent Street area. A ton of students who live in the area around Camp Randall often sell parking spots like by their houses, so that's a great way to get spots. There's also Union South's event parking and a couple other lots that are available near Camp Randall. So it'll definitely cost you, so make sure to get there early to get the best bang for your buck.
Yeah, and everyone else just avoid.
Yeah, everyone else stay away.
Avoid at all costs.
We're definitely going to be diving right into that tailgating in a later episode for sure. So I'm super stoked for football season.
Yes. And I love that you tailgated over in the Monroe Street area. It's always wild seeing it. And if you have to get across town, just for those who are driving, like if you're not going to the game, like you should have the heads up. This is your September guide memo. You will want to plan ahead. Like you need more time because there will be parades of human beings in red, and they're often being shaboozy. They have been drinking and they will cross the street at any time that they want. And you just have to wait. And there are lots more cars. And we're not just talking about students. We're talking about alumni. We're talking about parents of students. We're talking about fans. The city swells for the games. And we love it. We love that. And be thoughtful if you have to get across town. I would just avoid it, personally. All right, we're going to stick with the theme of athleticism, but off the football field, onto the trails. Before we do that, let's take a quick break. Red at the Bone, The Sixth Extinction, Le Petit Prince. Madison Public Library connects us to the world, to information, and to each other. And September is Library Card Sign-Up Month. So now's the perfect time to go find your newest fandom through books, movies, manga, music, and more when you get your very own Madison Public Library card. And this is fun. If you sign up in September at any of the 9 Madison Public Library locations, you can get your photo taken with a big library card. Hey, make it a celebration. Already have a card? Awesome. You can renew it this month and visit the library website for a list of 30 things you can do with your Madison Library card. One for every day in September. To get started, visit madpl.org. That's madpl.org. Or stop into any Madison Public Library location.
Hi, this is David, the CEO of CityCast. Do you ever find yourself holding back on travel because you're afraid of a language gap? Well, mind the gap no longer, as long as you have Babbel. Babbel is the science-backed language learning app. Its 10 minutes lessons are quick and handcrafted to get you talking your new language in 3 weeks. So I was reminded in the Olympics how much I love French. I had spoken French as a kid, but it has deteriorated to nothing. But I thought I would love to take a trip back to France with my girlfriend, but I'm embarrassed because my French is at 0. And I thought, why don't I get on Babbel and revive my French? And it's been a joy for the past few weeks. I'd forgotten everything. I'd forgotten plurals. I'd forgotten articles, vocabulary. Mostly I'd just forgotten how to speak and how to listen. And Babbel has me back on track with lots of speaking and lots of listening, because that's how you get better at a language. So I've been working on time, for example. And there's this way in French where when you say 2:45, you don't say 2:45, you say 3 o'clock minus 15. So, je rentre à 3h moins le quart. I'm coming back at 2:45. Anyway, it's so much fun to speak. And don't take my word for it. There's studies from Yale, from Michigan State University that prove that Babbel works. So, here's a special limited time deal for CityCast listeners. Right now, get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/citycast. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/citycast. Spelled BABBEL.com/citycast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
So, yes, campus is going to be alive with the sounds of cheers of the hopefuls for our Badgers. There's going to be dancing in September on bleachers, but there's also going to be some dancing on the sidelines of one of the greatest shows that is once again coming to Madison that we love, the Iron Man competition. I love Iron Man so much. And it will also be probably shutting down some of our streets. So that's why we're bringing it up. Both a marvel to see and a marvel to plan for. We'll talk about the streets in a second shutting down. But this is such a neat event, y'all. The Iron Man in Madison is the first weekend of September. And fierce athletes come to compete in this mega triathlon, either the full-on Sunday, which is 140.6 miles long.
Oh, wow.
Which is incredible, or the half, which is 70.3 miles. Either way, it's crazy.
That's insane. That is nuts. Absolutely bonkers. Go off.
Go off, athletes. And, so it's a triathlon. So it's swimming, biking, and running. This year is sold out. So it's too late to sign up for the main shaboom here. But it's not too late to plan to watch, which I think is so fun. We're really close to Iron Man date coming up. It's a very inspiring time. And also just such a cool display of our recreation areas, like our lakes and our running and bike trails. They are all on display for the folks who are taking part and anyone who's watching. So how does Iron Man strike you? Does it strike y'all hot? Do you like an Iron Man competition?
Strikes me hot. Yeah, it's so cool to like see people going out there and just like doing it. When I lived on State Street, there would always be people, running by, and you'd always have to kind of like awkwardly scoot past the runners. I remember one time my friend Riley was like going on a run, and he I guess accidentally joined the Iron Man route and he had no idea Iron Man was happening. He was just out on his regular run route. And then he got a text from him being like, I think I just ran the Iron Man. And he's like, but he was like, someone gave me a water and everyone was cheering me on. And it was like really nice. So yeah, shout out to all of the folks that go out and watch, all of the volunteers. There are still volunteer spots available for the Iron Man if you want to get involved. If you don't want to run, of course, I'm not a runner. I am not a track star. So yeah, you can volunteer, do the thing, make it happen.
Yes. We can't all be Ava.
We can't all be Ava.
No, guys, stop.
Our Iron Man.
I'm sick of this
Ava.
title. But I love the Iron Man. 2 of my roommates actually did it this last year. And it was super fun to watch. It was super cool. And then the track club, Wisconsin Track Club, shout out, always does a volunteer station on Walnut Street, kind of by the hospital during the running section. So nice. Yeah, but as Haley said, definitely sign up to volunteer. It's a super fulfilling volunteering experience. It is very inspiring to see all these athletes go through such a hard thing to complete, but also doing it with smiles on their face. Highly recommend at least catching a glimpse of it for sure.
Yeah, it's just so inspiring. My introduction to Iron Man was my freshman year college philosophy 101 professor shouting you out. Larry Shapiro, my hero, was a multi-time Iron Man, and I'd never really heard of that. And I was oh my God, this is the coolest thing. And he was also so cool. He wore the Cure t-shirts, and
I'm obsessed.
It was just a grown-up who's cool. How does that happen?
God.
It turns out we're out here. But the Iron Man competition, the athletes are so cool. They're so inspiring. I want to talk a bit about the course layouts. The half and the full are a bit different, obviously, because of the difference in mileage. The half and the full Ironman, though, share the same swimming component, generally the same area. That happens on Lake Monona, right by the Monona Terrace at Law Park Beach. So right off of there, really easy area where you can spectate there on the shore. And then the biking component, they both head south, but then kind of veer off into different directions. But beautiful paths that just survey the areas around Madison that are, rolling hills. They're both really hilly bike routes. And then the run component, The half is largely situated around kind of hugging Lake Monona across the isthmus and over to Old Brick. And then the full run, man, that hits the whole dang city. Up and around the Capitol, down Dayton. It heads towards campus, passing Camp Randall Stadium before heading towards Picnic Point, and then taking UW Lakeshore Nature Reserve path all the way back around. So had to catch my breath. Why did I describe all of those courses? Well, honestly, I just wanted us all to feel like we just did it.
we just did an Ironman. Congrats,
We're
team.
Ironman.
That's how it works.
Yes, so I also want to mention the courses because I want to give us a picture of how roads will be impacted. It truly is going to be across the city. These races start at the crack of dawn and go all day. So there will be road closures, and those will be announced closer to, and we'll be paying attention to that. Some roads will be converted to one-way traffic. Some bus routes will be rerouted. It's a full-scale affair. So you likely won't miss it if you're driving that day. And I feel like, I hope people do volunteer if you want to get into it. I feel like the spirit for athleticism is really high right now after the Olympic Games. Like, I'm kind of feeling a little high on it. And if I don't volunteer, at the very least, I'll go stand by the sidelines and cry and be like, you're beautiful.
I love it. And I mean, hey, the Paralympic Games are going on now too. So like everyone's an athlete. We're all doing it, like keeping that vibe going.
Yes, the human spirit. And speaking of spirit, another quick heavyweight summer activity that I feel like is worth mentioning that's happening in September is the last concerts at Breeze Stevens, another athletic field that brings also music joy. The last week of September, Lake Street Dive is going to be on September 24th, and then the National and War on Drugs on September 26th. So those are some phenomenal acts, and I feel like Breeze Stevens shows have been really great this year, and that'll be a cool way to finish up September if you want to catch some more outdoor shows. But that's not the only fun music. There's some weird stuff happening not too far away from Breeze Stevens this month as well.
Yeah, there's some more fun and exciting festivals happening in and around Madison. Of course, you know, summer is wrapping up and fall is on the way, but there are still neighborhood festivals coming up in September. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm super stoked for the Willie Street Fair. It really does signal the end of summer, but it's like a whole party for the end of summer, you know?
Yeah.
So the fair this year runs September 21 and 22nd, and it takes over the 800, 900, and 1,000 blocks of Willie Street and the 300 block of Brearley. And what you can expect is an all-around good and weird time, you know? Like we said, Willie Street, they're keeping it weird out there. There's going to be multiple stages of music, including a kids stage. And then Saturday, there's also going to be like an after party, Willie Street Beats After Dark at the High Noon Saloon, which will be fun. That is a ticketed event, though, I will say, $25 for a ticket. You're going to find all of your usual vendors, going to have some amazing local food to sample. Shout out to my boy Sultan of the Sultan, who has been on this here podcast talking about his restaurant before, and they'll be out there.
That food is so good on the corner of Ingersoll and Willie.
Yes, the food is incredible. They're like doing some cool experimental menus this month, so definitely check them out, and they'll be out there too. So local food, it's going to be awesome. And then, of course, I think one of the biggest highlights of the event is the parade. It'll be Sunday morning at 11 a.m. And it's always just like one of the most fun things. You know, I think one of the most fun things about these summertime festivals is like people watching, like truly magical, like getting to see and meet the people that are in your backyard, like literally your neighbors. And specifically like the parade. It is, it's an exciting display of Madison businesses and people and just cool folks doing fun things. So yeah, have y'all been to the Willie Street Fair in the past?
I have. It's beautiful. It's a culmination of all of our spirit and joy and weirdness and funkiness and community and face painted cuties and tricycles and whatever you might see.
I haven't personally gotten over there. I always went to like the Monroe Street days because I was usually more on that side of town. So I have not gone there, but hope to in the future, maybe this year.
But also, yeah, This year, though, shout out to Monroe Street because that festival is also happening in September. So there's stuff going on all across town.
And we're going to be at the Willie Street Fair. We were
Yeah.
just invited to be there and hand out stickers. So if you want stickers from us, we gonna be there, and maybe we'll be dressed up. I don't know.
Come hang out.
I'll
We'll
have
dress
sparkles
weird.
on my face. Yeah.
I don't know. I love it. One like Reddit review that I was reading on the Willie Street Fair that like really sold it to me. Someone posted, they were like, imagine you didn't go to the Willie Street Fair, and imagine you didn't spend your entire weekend dancing your butt off and doing 400 laps around the same 3 blocks. And, and I'm like, yes, that really is like the magic of these festivals, is that like you're just really getting to know very intimately these parts of our neighborhoods. And I love it. So yeah, again, Willie Street Fair, September 21st and 22nd. It's free. It's going to be a good time. I love it. And then outside of Madison, to truly get into the fall season, y'all should head all the way out to New Glarus for Oktoberfest, which is at the end of the month, September 26th through 29th. And it's free admission to the festival tent all weekend. And you can expect the spirit of Bavaria to be alive and well in Wisconsin. You should expect to see lederhosen and all of the beautiful traditional garb. And of course, there's going to be beer. There's going to be a lot of beer from none other than our friends over at New Glarus. Craft beer, German and Swiss treats. And on Sunday, September 29th, from 10:30 a.m. until it's gone, there's going to be free cheese tasting. So put that on your calendars.
That sounds really awesome. Also, my brain's still, what was the lederhosen?
Lederhosen?
Yeah. Is that an outfit?
Yeah, they're like those shorteralls, coveralls.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, professional if you want to say like Lederhosen, and then like Dirndls. So yeah, it's like they've got little buttons and the straps and the shorts, and usually guys wear them, and they put a little like collared shirt underneath. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So people are going all out.
Oh, people go all out for sure, especially because like it is New Glarus, you know, and New Glarus is just kind of known as like this sort of like little Switzerland, you know, and so they really want to bring the whole vibe to town.
I love those outfits. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I didn't know that was the name. I love learning. Okay.
Lifetime learner.
Okay, well, I think that we have so many opportunities to get sweaty, jump around, get athletic, and then dress up and dance and then drink.
Dress up, wash it all down with a beer.
That sounds like September to me. Y'all, this is so much fun. Thank you so much, Haley Sperling.
Thanks, Bianca.
And Ava Wynowski.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
That's all for today here on CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin. If you enjoyed today's show, why not share this episode with a badger? Go Badgers! We'll be back tomorrow morning with more stories from around the city. Until then, jump around!